Good afternoon, everyone. Sorry to hold you up. Can I go, Tom? Is that all right? Hey, okay. You're in control. I'm prepared to, this is the Tommy McDonald show. So thank you for helping us out, Tom. Today is a very important day for our great city in the fight to reduce poverty and offer strategic supports to our most vulnerable citizens. For far too long, countless Philadelphians have been trapped in a cycle of persistent and pervasive poverty. Thousands of people struggle every day to pay for the basic necessities of everyday life. Currently, 28.4%, more than 1 in 4 of Philadelphians live below the federal poverty line. For the last 20 years, unfortunately, our city has had the highest rate of poverty among the 10 largest cities in the United States of America. This has an impact on all Philadelphians, not just those living in poverty. For years, as a city, we have struggled with the symptoms of poverty. We have worked hard to improve our educational outcomes, develop job and workforce readiness and training programs, target crime, and address nutrition. And yet, our efforts, quite honestly, have not been as coordinated and thoughtful as they could be. Each year, the City of Philadelphia and other local government agencies spend nearly $700 million to assist low-income individuals. And while some of these programs are very effective, we need to coordinate better across all of these programs to identify areas of weakness or gaps in service and then track to impact all of these programs. Today, and very shortly, I'll be very proud to sign an executive order to establish a new office that will centralize and advance the city's anti-poverty work, the Mayor's Office of Community Empowerment and Opportunity, to now be known as CEO. The CEO will do many of the following: provide leadership and strategic support in the development of an anti-poverty plan for the City of Philadelphia, serve as the single point of contact and accountability for the city's anti-poverty efforts, oversee the management of the Community Services Block Grant, work with city departments and other agencies with anti-poverty initiatives to help them meet their goals, evaluate the effectiveness of all of our anti-poverty pilot programs and general programs, seek new funding to further the efforts, working in coordination with the Mayor's Office of Grants, and convene stakeholders from within and sometimes, I'm sure, from outside the city government and our community to find opportunities for collaboration. The CEO will be under the leadership of Eva Gladstein. For nearly 15 years, she has been a dedicated public servant with an accomplished record of success. Prior to that time, she worked on similar issues in the nonprofit arena. I've known Eva for a long, long period of time. And while I do have the opportunity to represent her as mayor, in a previous life, I had the pleasure of representing her as a councilman for the 4th Council District. The executive order also creates an oversight board for the CEO, which will help develop partnerships and strategies and infrastructure to support the city's anti-poverty goals. The oversight board will also hold the CEO accountable for meeting those goals. The board is made up of community representatives, city officials, advocates in business, and nonprofit and academic leaders who will serve 2-year terms. I want to thank the Oversight Board members who are here today and ask them to please stand. and we'll be glad to get the members of the press the full list. Before I sign the executive order, let me say one other thing. The people who live in poverty in this city are not strangers. They are our neighbors. They're our friends. In many instances, they're our relatives. Importantly, they're Philadelphians. They make up this city as well, and they will not be forgotten in this great city of brotherly love and sisterly affection. Creating this office is a part of my personal commitment to those individuals. They will not live in the shadows. They will not suffer in silence. They will not be forgotten. We do too much. We have the resources that we have. We'll probably never have all the resources that we want. But let us make sure that every day we use every dime to make people's lives better in this city. And that is the essence of what public service is all about. We'll make that happen with Eva's leadership. So you'll hear from her in a second. I'm going to go over and sign the executive order creating the new office, and then you'll hear from our new director. This is Executive Order number 6-13, the Mayor's Office of Community Empowerment and Opportunity. Let me make note of the following. In Section 5 is entitled the Mayor's Office of Community Service. And in this section under the Executive Order, the Mayor's Office of Community Services, also known as MOCS, and the Advisory Commission of MOCS are hereby abolished. In Section 6, prior Executive Order 15-84, dated December 6, 1984, is hereby repealed. And the effective date of this particular Executive Order is immediately. It is signed, it is hereby ordered, and the new office is now created. So, ladies and gentlemen, let me present to you the new director of the Mayor's Office of Community Empowerment and Opportunity, the one, the only, Eva Gladstein. Eva.
Thank you, everybody. I want to thank the mayor for having given me the honor of and trusting in me this new responsibility. And actually, thank you. My last responsibility is director of the Zoning Code Commission, and I really appreciate the support and the confidence, and I'll need your support going forward. I'm going to start with some other thank yous and then talk a little bit about the future, and I won't keep you too long. I wanted to thank in particular Alan Greenberger and Gary Jastrab and then the entire staff of the City Planning Commission for their support throughout the last 3 or 4 years of my work with the Zoning Code Commission and our integrated zoning and planning process. Also the 31 members of the Zoning Code Commission. We have become great, not just colleagues, but friends, and I hope that will stay the same. As I meet this new challenge with great joy, I also have sadness at moving away from some of the work that I've done and some of the people I've been working with, so I hope that doesn't happen. And I also want to appreciate the members of City Council who are here for their support and also for making it a very memorable experience. Sometimes great and sometimes a little bit more difficult, but definitely memorable. One of the things I was thinking about was how many times people have told me that I should write a book about this experience, and I haven't stopped to take notes. Maybe some of you have taken some notes that I can use when I decide to write that book. But while I will miss that work and leaving it at, I think, a great time when it's in a great place. We just a week ago celebrated at the Center for Architecture our recent crop of graduates from the Citizens Planning Institute and the fact that we had won a national planning award for our best practices. So it's sort of great to leave when stuff is doing well and in very good hands. So I take that as more than a consolation. Looking forward, when I met with the mayor to discuss this new position, I don't even know if I told him this, but I had actually wished for this job for a while. And so
you didn't mention that.
I didn't mention that, okay. Or else it wasn't such a hard sell, in other words. For my entire working life, a lot of it not in government, but in the nonprofit sector, I've sought opportunities that were focused on a very distinct mission that worked on revitalizing communities and empowering people, and this job seems to fit that bill. I also like to work hard and get stuff done, and I think this will also fit that bill in terms of working hard and getting stuff done. I met just a day ago, I guess, with my new colleagues, some of whom I know already and some of whom I don't know, who've been at Mox and now at CEO, and I look forward to getting to know them better and getting up to date on the great work that they've been doing. Also with collaborating, sometimes again, with folks outside of government as well, some of whom I know, and again, some of whom I'm going to get to meet for the first time. I think it's really important that we increase the impact of all of the work that everybody's been doing, and that it's important that the mayors create an office where we can track our progress and also communicate when we're successful, and I hope we will be very successful. My husband and son are here today. It's the young boy. He doesn't know I was going to call him out today, right? And Mike is saying he remembers him when he was in a papoose, and I was carrying him up Wayne Avenue. But Ruben will be going off to college next year, and we've been talking about, around the dinner table, not just about college, but what he's going to do and what he wants to do. And frankly, he doesn't know yet the answers to those questions. Many of us didn't know that at age 17 and a half. I certainly didn't know it when I went off to college. And I went off to the University of Michigan. And after a year and a half, I kind of knew that wasn't the right place for me. And I came here for an urban semester in January 1970, and I never left. So I had found what I wanted to do. I transferred to and graduated from Temple. I began organizing low-income tenants. That's how I know some of the people in this room from back then. And one thing led to another, and I joined the city in 1998. So what I can share with you that I feel like Philadelphia has provided me with all of this opportunity, and I hope to be able to work with everybody in this room and many others to kind of create that same opportunity for all Philadelphians through this office. And that's what I'm looking forward to, and that's what I'm seeking your help with. So thank you.
Let me also take a moment to thank and recognize for her hard work and focus in this particular area is Councilwoman Maria Quinones-Sanchez. Councilwoman, thank you very, very much. And to all of you, certainly the staff over at CEO, let me first say thank you for your dedication and your commitment. We plan to, in a much more coordinated fashion, provide additional resource support. It may not be more money, but certainly more resource support from a variety, I want to be clear about that, from a variety of agencies within the city government. And as a part of that coordination, certainly want to be clear that those agencies certainly maintain their primary missions. But again, when we talk about the $700 million that comes into the city to address low-income families and individuals, all of us can do a better job at coordinating our efforts. There is no one single thing that we will do to reduce poverty. There are a bunch of things that we have to do well and simultaneously and in coordination with many, many departments and agencies to address this particular challenge. It is one of the greatest challenges this city faces. This is a human capital issue. It's an economic issue. It's a community development issue. It's about children. It's about working-age folks. It's about seniors. This is the main issue that affects us from a public safety standpoint, that affects us from an education standpoint, that affects us from jobs and economic vitality, and whether companies want to be here, grow here, stay here, and expand. If we don't have a well-educated public, if people are not working, if they're not literate, if they cannot be self-sufficient, then poverty will be persistent. Cities alone cannot do this work. And so, again, pleased, of course, to see Kelvin Jeremiah here from PHA. We need our federal partners. There's virtually no city in the United States of America that can solve poverty by itself. We will never have the amount of resource necessary, but certainly our federal partners can help us in a tremendous way, and then we have to do the work on the ground to make sure that we're using the precious dollars that we have to maximize the opportunity that people have to live, work, and raise their families, and certainly function in a 21st century environment. We are committed to this work. I am so pleased that Eva said yes. No, she did not make it easy. And had I known that this is what you wanted to do for a long, long period of time, I would not have let you string me along for more than a few months. I commend you for being able to pull off that ruse for a job that you always wanted in the first place. You are one of the few that's ever been able to do that. You're to be commended for it, but don't try it again. Yes. We're very excited. Seriously, we've been looking at this and working on this actually for a long period of time. And it's not just about having the right idea. It's also about having the right person. We got both. Once again, big, big congratulations to Eva, and thank you very, very much. Thank you. Oh, I just have to take questions. All right. Are there any questions from the news media? Yes. No. This is, you know, I've been in the government now for almost 20 years directly, and I've been around this government for 30. And this has been an internal topic of conversation for a while in terms of how do we best coordinate and utilize the resources that we have. Again, even though they've been dwindling for the past few years. And, you know, as I mentioned earlier, our federal partners, I think, quite frankly, at times don't necessarily understand the full consequences of their actions. They hear about CSBG or CDBG or PHA, or, you know, we have more acronyms than there are letters of the alphabet. I get that. Unfortunately, I think that there are some in the Congress who do not completely and fully understand the programs that they fund, what they do, and that when you make significant cuts, the kinds of things that now are being under discussion, for instance, with regard to sequestration, whatever that means, that there are real impacts to those cuts, and real people get hurt. And so, as much as we have to operate with fiscal integrity and make tough decisions, you should also know the consequences of your actions. So, this particular action has nothing to do with anything other than wanting to have the best coordination for our anti-poverty agency, which is what it was created for some 4 or so decades